Me personally, I'm a big fan of group setting workouts, cycle, Zumba, stuff like that. That keeps the morale up and the drive to want to actually go to the class because you have friends there that are going to push you through it.
I like to run. That's my main, way that I exercise. I mean, I love to play hockey, but I just don't have as much time. But it's a great way to condition without, kind of thinking about it and incorporating fitness. But running is my best. I'll do small workouts at my house, whether it's push-ups, sit-ups, planks, or something like that, just because it's the easiest thing for me to do.
Yeah, so I always like to kind of just do my own thing because I feel like I know myself best. I've done personal training with others too. It just doesn't work as well for me. And what works best for me is kind of separating cardio days from strength training days. I'll always do a cardio day circuited with a core exercise, and then I'll do a strength day, whether that be chest, back, what legs, doesn't matter, and I'll put an ab circuit into that too. So just over the years with fitness and athletics, I've been able to learn different techniques to keep myself fit and keep myself healthy as I can by my own regimen.
I enjoy playing lacrosse the most because my team's like a family and it's just my favorite sport.
I enjoy soccer the most because I was the captain this year and I got to lead 18 girls to the playoffs, and that was a really cool experience for our team.
My favorite sport is cross country because I just love the adrenaline rush when you're in a race and you just pass someone, and you just, once you finish the race, just like seeing the finish line, just having to sprint towards the end and just finally finishing, even though it's like agonizing at the end, it's just like kind of a good feeling knowing that you completed something like that. But also I just enjoy skiing from just kind of like the rush it also gives you from going downhill and I don't know, just going like kind of fast and like weaving and doing jumps and stuff. It's just a fun thing to do.
So before the season, I know we go to the gym and then the girls meet up for captain's practices like 6 or 7 times before double sessions start in the summer.
I like to go to the gym and run and lift there, and also we have captain's practices as a team.
For training for cross country, there's summer running, which you have to run for a certain amount of minutes every day before the season starts, usually starting around July. And basically you just go on runs. Sometimes you go a tempo run, so which is a comfortably hard pace. And then other days you just do easy runs just to build up your endurance.
Our normal practices consist of 2 miles at the beginning of practice, which sucks, but then we stretch together and we do different drills for lacrosse.
So usually when we get to practice, we run 3 or 4 laps at the beginning, and then we'll do stretches in the middle of the field and like dynamic warm-ups.
Usually normal practice is you go out onto the field, you start warming up, and you start with just like normal like active stretches, so like high knees, butt kicks, other stuff. Then you go into the static stretches, so like other stuff like butterflies and just like reaching for your legs and stuff. Then you do some core. So what we do for core is usually sit-ups, push-ups, crunches. Oh, and then after that, we go and get our run. And whatever run it is we do, we could either do like a workout, so we could go do like fast loops somewhere, or we could just go on a LSD run, which is long, steady distance. And from those runs, you just go for a while, like up to 7 miles probably. Or we could just do another like easy run before like a meet or something. So then once we get back from the run, we do strides, which you just run back and forth just to get the lactic acid out of your legs, just so that you're not sore the next day. Then after that, you do core.
It pretty much consumes my life because with school and sports, I don't really have time to do anything, so I'm getting home late at night a lot.
It affects my lifestyle because most of my high school memories were playing sports with my teammates, and I made a lot of friends on the team, so high school was majorly impacted by the sports that I played.
And cross country affects my everyday life because honestly it just makes me feel like so much better about myself, because I'm just like, I feel like I'm in shape and I can actually do stuff, because like out of season, if I just haven't done anything, I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm kind of lazy and just like lethargic most of the time, when I used to feel like in shape and I just feel stronger than I was before.
It's taught me how to be a leader and work as a team, and also lacrosse has especially kept me fit throughout the whole school year.
Throughout high school, I've been the captain of the soccer and softball team, and meeting these girls and getting to playoffs and getting to have like a family bond with all of them was a really good part of my high school career.
Honestly, it just made my high school like more enjoyable because I always looked forward to the fall and cross country season, and it's just fun hanging out with your friends every day after school and going on a run with them. And it honestly helps you make more friends too, doing a sport in high school.
On a daily basis, I'm making sure that the athletes are warmed up, they're ready to go, they perform at their best level. When it's on the off season or an off day, not a game day, they're working to their potential to keep their fitness level up so that they can go into a game situation and be the best that they can be.
Well, when I think about my career and my job as an athletic director, I think of our student athletes. And when I think about our student athletes, I think about fitness and hopefully keeping them at their best, in their best shape, so we can kind of prevent injury. One way of doing that is by, strength and conditioning and using physical activity to, keep them at their best. So, that's kind of the way I look at it.
It's important to stay healthy. It's important to stay fit. It's important to train different muscles in different areas for different sports. Each sport has a different muscle capacity, so we work on as many as we can. So when it comes to athletics, it's one of the most important things.
We start our practices with a long warm-up that would include some plyometrics, some calisthenics, and then once the athletes' bodies are ready to go, then they have their long-distance workout, and then we finish with more plyometrics and more core and calisthenics.
The training is going to vary depending on what genre the athlete's in. So for cross country, it's obviously distance running. So that is anything from a distance day to a recovery day to a pre-meet day to a meet day, which is very different, which is you're all out 100% lactic acid threshold. But then within track, there's 9 events indoor and 16 events outdoor. So depending on if you're a hurdler or a sprinter or middle distance or distance, or a thrower or a jumper, you're getting very different types and styles of workouts. And then middle and distance, it's just a variation of different types of training, because you need speed, but you need endurance, and there's a lot of things that go into that. So there's really like a juxtaposition of all sorts of different things that we do with cross country and track in terms of fitness.
I've always loved sports, and as I was younger growing up, I realized that even though I love sports, I wasn't good at them. I could run on the soccer field forever, but when I went to pass the ball to my friends, it never went in the direction it was supposed to. So I just slowly began to focus on the fitness part, which is just, running, because that's what I'm good at.
So I started off as loving the medical field, healthcare, something like that. And then I found that I really loved working with athletes. And so that's kind of where it stemmed from. And myself, I'm not so much of an athlete, and I'm not so much into fitness as much as I am into keeping my athletes healthy and keeping their fitness levels up.
Well, athletics has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. I played it in high school, I played it in college, and I've learned a lot through athletics. So it's kind of jump-started me into where I am today. I also have 3 kids that play sports, and it's been a lot of fun watching them grow and play and learn so many life lessons from sports.
So for me, I kind of had a little bit of a journey. After high school, I chose not to go to school, and found out very quickly that there wasn't much out there for me. So I went back to school because I enjoyed playing football and lacrosse, and I missed that so much, so I attended Curry College and played football and lacrosse there. When I got out of there, real world hit fast. Didn't really have any idea what I was going to do. So it wasn't until about 7 years after college when I pursued my master's, and for my master's I chose athletics. Athletics has always been that driving force for me. It's kind of been a release from, I guess you could say, reality. So even though it's my profession, it still doesn't feel like work because it's something that I enjoy thoroughly. For me growing up, sports was always that outlet mentally. and physically and socially. So that's the reason I chose athletics, and now I get to kind of portray that onto high school students and younger athletes as well. So that's kind of why I chose the path that I'm on right now.
When I was really young, I played soccer, and I always had just good endurance. I could just run and run and run, and it was just a natural thing for me, and I didn't have to really try that hard. And then I did soccer, and I could run all around the field. But then I did a road race when I was in 4th grade, and I did really well because I was a little nugget, just trying it out for the first time, and it was a 5-mile race, and I didn't even really train for it, but I did really well. And I think my parents were like, "Yeah, I think you can probably do pretty well in this," and I said, "I like it." So my parents started bringing me to road races and registering me for road races, and I did a ton of road races growing up, all through middle school, and then I had to make a decision when I went into high school if I wanted to play soccer or do cross country, and then continue on with like track and field as well. And I just followed that road, and I ended up doing cross country and indoor and outdoor track in high school, and it was a hard decision because I love soccer, but it was the right decision. And I ended up going to the University of Vermont and running there. And then post-college, I did a lot of, I did like some semi-pro running, and I ran on the circuit like all over the U.S., which was fun for a while.
Through school, I've learned that fitness is kind of subjective. It's something that changes depending on who you are and what you do in a life. So if an athlete that I'm working with, their fitness level is going to be extremely high compared to somebody who does it for fun, does it on the weekends, does it to stay in shape, just to be healthy. And it's something that fitness is more for your benefit. You're not doing it to trying to impress people. And for my athletes, it's something that I really focus on to keep them healthy and involved in their sport.
That every coach needs to have a nice connection with each of their athletes, so that when I see whether it's a 7th grader who's new to the team or a senior who's been on the team for 6 years, with a smile and a question about how their life is going, I can make that connection so that they are invested in the team, and then I can come up with a workout that allows them to succeed as best they can.
I've learned a lot from coaching. I think I started coaching because, as I said in my previous question, I started slowing down, but I needed to, I just had a passion for the sport, and I needed to find a way to stick with it in some way, and what better way than to start coaching athletes and instilling whatever knowledge you do have into future athletes. So once I started doing that, the passion was just there. I could see athletes grow, start at point A and get to point B or Z or wherever you want to bring them to, and see an athlete start from a freshman and most of the time not be that great, and then see them as a senior and accomplish athletically what they can accomplish if they really put their heart and mind to it is pretty incredible. Up to and not including like state championships and New England champions and athletes at the national level. It's pretty incredible. And I never thought I would ever be able to say that. But I put the effort in, they put the effort in, and it pays off.
I've learned that, it definitely keeps me healthy, and it's a great way to, if I'm having a busy day or something's going on, it's a great way for me to kind of let off some steam, as they say, and get it out and get my energy out. And it just, after a workout, I feel great. My mind is ready. I'm ready to kind of move on to the next thing that I need to do.
I mean, the most important thing is health, is to keep yourself healthy. You never know when you could be sick or any of the sort, but the more apt you are to eat healthy, stay in the gym, keep yourself consistent fitness-wise, less chances are you'll get sick, and less chances are you'll get hurt, and you'll perform better, whether that be in athletics, in your job, as a student. I feel like fitness is better for the mind than it is actually the body. So mind, body, soul is kind of the whole fitness regimen. So that's kind of what I do for fitness, and then how it's important in my life and stuff like that.
Well, I think it promotes a healthier lifestyle overall. One thing that's kind of tough for cross-country track and field athletes when you get to college is that all the meets are on Saturday mornings. So it's kind of hard to have a late night on a Friday evening with all your friends. So you just kind of learned that rest is important, and it also allows me to eat healthier, have a balanced meal. My family has a balanced meal for dinner every night. And, I think with our athletes, it's the same thing. We're always promoting good nutrition and getting rest and recovery so that they can perform their best when the time comes.
I think fitness is a commitment, like most things in life, right? I think if you have a passion for it and you commit to it, the benefits are just so far-reaching. And I think if you make fitness part of your lifestyle, it just becomes, you just fit it in your schedule and you do it. And you don't look at it when you're younger, you don't look at it like fitness, like staying in shape. You look at it, I think everyone who's younger looks at it from like a competitive standpoint, and then when you get older, you're like, oh, I need to stay in shape and that kind of thing. But I loved it for all reasons, I guess. But as I get older, and I'm still a runner, I still run, but it allows me to sleep better, and I can still kind of get away with eating whatever I want to eat at this point in my life. I know that's not going to last forever. So you also just mentally sharp, mentally healthy during the day. The camaraderie and the friends that you make and the colleagues that you become close with, and I think those are all things I haven't mentioned yet that are positive aspects of staying fit.
In a positive way only. I've never had any issues with fitness affecting my life negatively. It's something that I definitely need to do more of on a personal level, but it's what keeps my job in business. That's what we do, is we work with athletes and we keep them fit.
Fitness is huge. I play hockey, I run, and I enjoy it, and it's a big part of my life. I really find that keeping, my body, my spirit, my mind, all of those things at their best, I can definitely achieve that through fitness.
Personally, fitness has been, it's been different and difficult as I get older, as injuries have come and gone from playing football. But for me, it's more of a lesson that I try to teach my kids. We go to the Y 3-4 times a week to show them that, mom and dad are trying to be healthy, staying, fit, and staying in some type of condition to do, whether that be any activities with them or outside or swimming. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's a little different than when you're growing up playing athletics, but it's just trying to stay healthy and, live a healthy lifestyle.
I think most people's issue is it's a schedule issue. I even run into it with my high school athletes. They're like, oh, I can't do it, I have to work. I tell them, you're gonna be working the rest of your life. I can't, I've said the same speech to so many high school athletes, and especially when they become juniors and seniors and they can drive and they can go to work and make money, but you're gonna be making money the rest of your life. You'll be driving the rest of your life. You only get those few months when you're a junior and senior in high school to be able to do something, and I don't care what sport it is. I think you should do it, because you don't get those opportunities post high school. And if you do, if you're lucky enough to do a sport in college or to be part of a club in college or something like that, it's not the same. It's different than it ever will be in high school, and because you're not the same age, you're not as impressionable, you're not, you don't share those new experiences the same way because you've already done them. And I think there's something to be said for fitting it into your schedule, and even as an adult, you get busy and you grow up and you work a job and you might have a family and you might have a relationship or something, and you just say, oh, I don't have enough time, but you do. If you just factor it into your life and it's just part of your normal everyday schedule, just like picking up your phone for an hour a day, or, I mean, the new phones you can look at how much screen time you're on your phone, just minus that by an hour, because if you're looking at your screen that much during the day, you have an extra hour or even a half an hour to get out there and get some fitness. And
start with a goal. It should be any goal, but ideally one which is rather easily attainable, because you can always make another goal, but if you start with a goal that's too difficult, then you might become disenchanted and decide that you don't want to do this overall. But start with an easy goal and work towards that goal, achieve it, come up with a new one, and that goal could be anything. A lot of people are like, well, I want to run a 5K. Okay, well, how about before that you can run a mile or a half mile? Or it doesn't have to be running. It could be that you want to do 10 sit-ups in a row without resting. Any type of goal so that you have something to work towards.